Right now, deep inside your brain, your claustrum is misfiring, quietly binding together sights, sounds, and thoughts you never asked it to combine, and neuroscientists who study it admit they can't stop it. You've never heard of this structure, and that's the point. It's a thin sheet of neurons, wrapped like a shell against the side of your brain, and it's rewiring the way you experience this exact second. It doesn't produce a single thought. It doesn't store a single memory. Its only job is to fuse everything else your brain is doing into one unified experience. Right now, while you watch this, it's stitching together the light hitting your eyes, the sound in your ears, the memory of your day, and your sense of being one person having one experience. And tonight, while you sleep, it may be doing that job badly. Some researchers believe a malfunctioning claustrum is why your mind won't stop looping the same anxious thought, why one piece of static in your day hijacks your whole evening. It's not making the thought, it's binding it to everything else over and over until you can't separate the noise from the moment. Picture it like this. Your brain is 1,000 separate radio stations, vision, sound, memory, emotion, all playing at once. The claustrum is the mixing board, quietly turning knobs so you hear one song instead of static. Scientists mapped its wiring in 2014 and found something strange. It connects to almost every region of the cortex at once, like a hub with 1,000 roads. When researchers electrically stimulated it in a single patient, her consciousness didn't fade, it switched off completely, mid-sentence, like a light with no dimmer. The moment the current stopped, she resumed the sentence with no memory of the gap. That's not a bruise. That's not fatigue. That's a structure with its hand on the switch for whether you're even in the room. And here's the part the neurologists can't fix. Francis Crick, the man who helped discover the structure of DNA, spent the last years of his life obsessed with this exact region, convinced it held the seat of consciousness itself. He died before he finished the paper. 2 decades later, scientists still can't agree on what triggers a claustrum misfire, and they have no drug, no therapy, no verified technique that reliably calms it down. It's too small, too deep, too tangled into everything else to isolate. You cannot feel it misfiring. You just feel the result, the intrusive loop, the racing mind at 2 a.m., the inability to let one bad moment stay one bad moment. Here's where it gets counterintuitive. You've been told that meditation calms an overactive mind. For a misfiring claustrum, that advice can backfire. Long, unstructured stillness gives this binding structure more raw material to fuse together, more thoughts, more sensations, more loops to weld into one inescapable moment. Some researchers now think this is why certain people report meditation making their anxiety worse, not better. Silence isn't neutral. For this structure, silence is fuel. So what actually works? High performers who have studied this, athletes, surgeons, people whose focus is their income, use something narrower than meditation. It's called a binding break, and the rule is specific. Every 90 minutes, interrupt what you're doing with 20 seconds of a single, sharp sensory input, cold water on your wrists, a loud clap biting into something intensely sour. Not a slow breath, not a gentle reset, a jolt. The claustrum can only bind what's active, and a sudden, intense sensory spike forces it to drop everything it was fusing and start over on something simple. It's a hard reboot, not a soft one. People who use this report the racing thought loop breaking almost instantly, where minutes of deep breathing failed. Try it tonight. Set one alarm 90 minutes before you plan to sleep. When it goes off, don't meditate. Run your wrists under cold water for 20 seconds or bite a lemon wedge, anything sharp and sudden. Then, and only then, let the room go quiet. You're not calming the structure, you're forcing it to release what it was gripping, before you hand it a dark, silent room to grip something worse in. But the claustrum isn't the only region doing this to you while you sleep. There's another structure, smaller still, sitting just beneath it. And unlike the claustrum, it doesn't just bind your thoughts together. It decides which ones you'll still remember tomorrow.